If you're wondering how to fix a large fender dent without repainting the panel, well, this video might be for you. This damage actually occurred from a large tree limb falling onto the fender, causing damage in several different areas. With this being a new truck and the color of this vehicle, the last thing this customer wanted to do was get this repainted. So I'm going to fix this with the paintless method. Even though this is a big dent, it's easy to get lost in what to do first. And it's important in the beginning stages of a dent, we want to focus on the main area of impact, which is dead here in this center. With the damage being so close to this front door, we don't have a lot of space to work with. I'm going to start out by using this tension system from Auto. This thing is a great system and it's fully adjustable. And I'm also going to be using high strength collision glue from Auto. I need to remove one of the lower tabs off this system because I'm going to have to use a strap on one end because of the limited space. I'm using heat to burn off any contaminants so I get maximum adhesion. Using this pull strap from Black Plague, I'm going to place it right on the edge of that fender. Then I'll use the larger tab of the tension system, placing it on the flat side of the fender. After allowing that glue to set up in place for a few minutes, what I like to do is I'll coat the outside of the edges of the tab so I get a good bite. There's nothing worse than the tab not sticking. Because of the limited space here on this edge, without this strap, it would have been very difficult to repair this the way I'm about to do it. And I want to do this repair in the same day, so I don't have much time to waste. As you can see, I'm completely set up here. I believe this is a 3/8 bit. I got it in a small impact, but this is what's used to get tension on this system. So this is my plan. Knowing that this center point's the main point of impact and it's very tight, it would be very difficult for me to come in with a rod and start putting pressure there because I might cause more damage, potentially oil canning this repair. So by using lateral tension, I'm spreading the metal out on each side of the dent, which will allow the center to release a lot easier, which will speed this repair up drastically, saving it from a repaint. As I start applying pressure, you can see a lot of this damage sprung out on me. Now that center point that was once really tight doesn't look that bad anymore. I'm going to keep a good amount of tension on this and drop down to the lower part of the fender. As you can see, I got this big crown all bubbled up here. If I don't release that, it's going to fight me through the whole repair. So I'm going to use this soft blow hammer from PDR and come in and start laying that flat. The whole goal is to lay that flat without making more damage. Now I can move on and address the next deepest point of impact, which is down here on this lower body line and here in this center section. I'll be using two smaller tabs from Metal Medic, placing a bead of glue down the center of each of them. It's important to make sure I get these tabs in the center of the dent. I don't want to pull up metal off center. This is just a slide hammer from PDR. I'll apply pressure on this while I'm watching that metal move, making sure I don't over pull it too much. Whatever metal comes up eventually has to be laid flat. I pulled as much metal as I can up with glue. Now it's time to get this system out of my way. If you ever use a pull strap like this, I'd recommend not spraying alcohol on it, but for the rest of the glue and tabs, you want to spray that on there to remove them from the vehicle. Now it's time to get access to the back of the panel and to figure out which tools I'm going to use to finish this dent out with. There's thousands of tools on the market. I decided to go with these Tequila rods. I like these because they got a ball end on one side like an R4 tip, and you can change them up to blunt, to medium, to soft tips. And you can also just remove the cap to do all your finish work, plus they got a really nice bend on them. With this dent being reduced in size drastically, I'm going to start here on the upper part first. As you can see, I've got tons of access to the inside of this metal, which will give me a lot of freedom to move around in different angles. I decided to go with this smaller cherry cap from Dentcraft, so I'm going to slide it right inside this pocket. Because there's still two tight nipples on the inside of this dent, what I'm doing here is I'm applying pressure to the back side of the metal and keeping pressure on it with that soft cap while I hammer on the outside of it. This is called an off dolly technique. Only difference is I'm using my rod as the dolly, and this is allowing me to keep that metal up while I use my blending hammer to tap the edges off. Once I got those edges released and opened up, the metal moves so much easier. With the metal over pushed, I'll use my blending hammer from Auto to try to lay it as flat as I can. Then I'll move on to the upper portion of the dent. In this section, the metal's more soft. It's a lot more shadow. So with that soft cap behind it, it's moving a lot quicker for me. I'm just staying consistent, making sure I overlap each push. Once I get that to a good point, now it's time to come in with a knockdown and start laying all this flat. I'm just using a cheap knockdown from Amazon. The most important part is the tip on it, which is a Black Magic soft cap. I'll adjust my light down to knock out the lower section of this dent. This is about 1.5 inch crease. I'm going to be using the same rods. The only difference is I'm going to have to grab one a little bit longer to get down to the lower part of this fender. I'm going to just use the ball end of this rod with no cap on it. You could definitely put a soft tip on this rod and come in and push this up, but because it's so shallow, the ball end of this rod will work just fine. I will say in most cases though, if you can get a soft cap behind a dent, definitely start out with that because it's going to move more metal a lot quicker and keep everything more consistent. The smaller the tip, the easier it is to prick up metal. Now I'm going to adjust my light so I get a good fade to the upper portion of this panel. Because these Tequila rods have such a good bend on them, I'm able to get to the upper portion of this dent without switching up my tool. Plus I'm able to get pretty decent leverage by prying off this flange. Even though this dent's fairly small, it's tight in the center, it's got a small crease running through it. So I'm going to apply some heat to it and start pushing this up. And as you notice, once the metal comes up, the center remains low and there's edges on each side of it. So I got to come in with my knockdown and relieve those edges. This is often referred to as a volcano. When you push the metal up, the edges come up, leaving the center low. So in order to get the center up, the edges have to be relieved. Anytime you have a sharp dent, sometimes you have to do this several different times. It's just part of the process. Metal has memory to it. It wants to go back to its factory spot, but if there's trapped up energy, it has to be released to allow it to flow. Now that I have it released, I can pop that soft cap off and come in and finish it out. Put in just a little bit more pressure on this to bring that little low spot up. Then I'll knock it down, getting it nice and flat using a sharp tip by Drew's Tools. Because the angle of this side dent, I gotta switch my tool tip up. So I'm using a 36-inch Dentcraft double bend with a R4 tip. I've got a weird angle on this dent. I'm kind of prying at it sideways, which is kind of risky in some cases because your tool tip can slip, and if it does that, it's going to drag a big line going down the panel, which could cause a lot of unnecessary work. So I decided to take a break, and I put another extension on this rod to give me more leverage and put me in a little bit better of an angle. That extra extension definitely helped out, so I got a total of a 4-inch extension on this rod. I'll finish it out with a little bit of knockdown work, then I'm going to move on to this next dent. I'll be going back to my original Tequila rod with that soft cap on there, and I'm going to actually take an S-hook and put it through one of these factory fender holes. I put a microfiber towel down so I don't scratch anything here on this radiator support, because I am going to have to pry up against it a little bit just because of the angle that I'm in. As I push this dent up, even though I'm hitting dead center, you can see there's edges on the dent, so I got to do the same thing that I did before, is to come in with my knockdown and relieve those edges. It's trapped metal and the center will never come up until those are released. So as I push it up, I'll take breaks to hammer it out to try to open it up more. Once I get to a good point, I'll end up taking that soft cap off and get into that center with just a ball end, no cap. Without those tight edges on there, you notice how much softer the dent is. The more soft it is, the easier it'll flow. After knocking all that flat, I'll readjust my light to knock out these 2 smaller dents here in the front. These are the last 2 dents left behind. I still can't believe a tree limb did all this damage. This dent here on the backside is pretty small, so just a couple light pushes will move that up. And then I'll move on to this next one, following that same process. Find the center, slowly work it up. Any overpushed metal or edges on the dent has to be relieved using a knockdown or a blending hammer. Even though this panel had a lot of damage on it, I really didn't mind working on it because I had such great access. It makes the big job so much easier when you don't have to fight around bracing to get to a dent. Interested in paintless dent repair? Check out our online and offline trainings down in the description below. Before I give you the breakdown on how much I charge to fix a job like this, there's a few things to take in consideration. Paintless dent repair is not the cheapest process in the world, but it's a lot cheaper than a traditional body shop. Plus, you get to keep your factory OEM paint finish, and in most cases, depending on your damage in the shop that you're working with, you can get same-day service, which is major because anytime you can get auto body repairs done and you can keep your factory OEM paint finish, it's definitely the way to go. So for the dent in the back, which was the bulk of the repair and took the most time, I quoted this at $900, and then for the rest of the damage on the fender, I quoted all this at $400 for a grand total of $1,300, saving the factory paint finish, blending paint into the front door, and probably days, if not weeks, in a body shop. Priceless. If you're looking for a change, side hustle, or you want to start your own business, I offer online and in-person paintless dent repair training, teaching you exactly how to do this. You can sign up in the description below this video. Thanks for watching. Follow for more.